Graham, when you were speaking to our studio before the game, you emphasised the importance that you wanted performance and results. Tonight you didn't get the result, but were you happy with the performance that your team gave?
Lots of aspects of it, yeah. And the spirit of the team was fantastic. Gave everything the players. I thought it was relatively even in terms of chances in the game, but could have nicked something at the end with Mo. But in the end, we come away with nothing in terms of result, but performance, lots of things to be positive about.
How important was the start tonight? You seemed to come here, you silenced the crowd, you get the first goal. Was that very much in your game plan tonight, to keep this place quiet, to give you a chance?
Yeah, well, I think it was. And you look at the second half, they had to make some substitutions. The first goal was a bit of a turning point for us. We maybe thought it was a foul on Jared leading up to it, and sometimes you need those things to go your way. It wasn't to be. I think we'd have held on a little bit more, sensed the crowd getting a bit frustrated, and obviously Chelsea weren't overly happy with what they were doing because they made all the substitutions. So we were doing well, but we couldn't quite hang on, and like I said, we had a real big chance at the end to take a point.
Is it fair to say both goals you conceded had a touch of misfortune about them from your perspective?
Yeah, they're deflected. Certainly the second one's a deflection, but obviously, we know he's got that quality as well. So, no, we have to focus on what we did well. We have to focus on, like I said, the spirit of the performance. You could see the reaction of our supporters after the game. They appreciated the effort. They appreciated the togetherness of the team, and that's something we have to keep going with.
You also spoke before the game with the lads about the importance of the time you'd had on the training field, and they mentioned in commentary tonight there seemed to be more rigid West Ham, more defensive, more tighter, everybody knowing their jobs. Did you sense that was coming through as well?
Well, I think you've got to be here as well, because there's a lot of talent on the pitch. Like I said, not just the starting 11, but the substitutes as well. They can bring on a lot of talented players, but I thought the shape of the team was really, really good. The effort of the team was really good. The application of everything was really good. Like I said, you need a bit of luck. Like I said, we felt a little bit unfortunate with the first goal lead up to, but it wasn't to be. We have to accept the defeat and take the positive.
A lot of deals that Chelsea would be up there fighting, and they are back in the top four tonight. Is it important, Gianfranco, that they have shown a little bit of resilience this evening? That they had to suffer, they've had to work the hard way and come from behind to win.
Yeah, that's the most important thing I take from this game. He hasn't been the best in terms of quality, in terms of football, but it was important to win. It was important to come back from the situation they did. Because West Ham, to be fair, they played a good game. They made it very, very difficult for them. Created a lot of density, which was not easy to find spaces. So I feel that it's a very, very important game.
Do you think this was a good performance from West Ham?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, listen, Chelsea, going away to Chelsea is a tough place, for anyone to go. There's a huge rivalry between the two teams. You mentioned to Graham Potter before the game what he preferred. He wants both a performance and a result. They were very close to getting it. It was a decent performance. Listen, this isn't the best Chelsea team we've ever seen, and they're not in the best form as well right now. So I think in some ways, being 1-0 up at half-time, Chelsea, as I say, going through a little bit of a rough patch, I think they'd be disappointed that they haven't come away with something from the game, because, as I said, with 45 minutes to go, 1-0 up, yeah, they would have. I think they'd been confident they could have taken something.
Yeah, really good position they were at half-time after Jared Bowen, who's back in the side. West Ham in front at Stamford Bridge at half-time for the first time since 2008, when, guess who was the manager of the Hammers? Gianfranco, I'm talking about you. Craig Bellamy scored the goal back then. The game finished 1-1, incidentally. West Ham are hoping for better tonight. It finished 1-1. Jared Bowen has got the goal. How did it come about, Jamie?
Well, it comes from a goalkeeper. You think of like little tactical tweaks in the game. You think of Souček here, put him up against Cucurella. Complete contrast in terms of the size of the play. So they get the flick on, but then Colwill wants a foul. It's not. He just doesn't have the awareness, but it's brilliant from Bowen. But when you're a defender then, you're going back to your goalkeeper, especially on your weak foot, you go this side, you don't go inside, you go down the outside, so the keeper clears it with his left foot. But Gianfranco, the finish is fantastic.
No, the finish is very good, very cool, because he was running, he knew he was chased by a defender, but he was cool, and the way he placed the ball.
What do you think about a foul potentially there, Gianfranco?
I think it's been too soft, and then I agree I totally agree with Jamie. When you, as a defender, you pass the ball back to the goalkeeper, you normally pass the ball on the side of the goal, never to the goal. So just in case, and that was the second mistake he made.
They've had a lot of possession, more than 60% Chelsea, but only 2 shots on target. They both came in stoppage time. What have you actually made of them going forward, Gianfranco?
No, I think it's been a lot is down to West Ham because they created a lot of density in the middle, and Chelsea is trying to go to the middle too much. I think they should be trying to stay a little bit wide and go a little bit more on the wide areas because in the middle there is no space.
What do you think about Cole Palmer? We've felt a lot of the time tonight he's actually getting the ball in deeper areas, not being in the danger, position between the lines. He seems very deep at times.
It is, but I think this is a consequence of the fact that they have so many players in that area, West Ham, and so therefore, for him to get the ball, he has to drop a little bit deeper. It's not ideal because it'd be better to receive the ball.
It's a sensational free kick, Gianfranco.
This is very good, actually. I have to say it was a great save. I personally would have put the Cucurella and the other guy should have been closer to the wall.
The 2 blockers there.
In order to put the goalkeeper in a condition that to see the ball, he had to stay a little bit more to the right.
Are these the kind of details you're talking about, that he can develop that learning and understanding? So he can say to those players, get closer to the wall, make it harder for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you do that, the goalkeeper has to stay a little bit more to the right, and so it gives you more possibility. Yeah, it comes from experience, from practice, from also studying other players taking free kicks. All these things, are vital because you can win games. So
And just remind us, who was the man that taught you about free kicks?
No, I was actually think a left-footed guy, not a right.
Yeah, but who was it? Who was it?
Well, I mean, there was. I remember one young Argentinian guy who wasn't bad.
He's talking about Diego Maradona. Much more about Diego and some of the other players that Gianfranco.
And it's exactly what is done there.
Chelsea not in great form, but they needed that, and you need a bit of luck. I said over the weekend, Liverpool had a little bit of luck at times against Bournemouth. Arsenal had a bit of a luck with the deflection to get themselves back 2-1 really quickly after going 1-1. And it wasn't going great for Chelsea, but they needed that little bit of luck. Maybe something VAR on the first goal, deflection on the second goal, but they need to get back into better form because if they don't, they will miss out on the Champions League. But it's there for the taking for 4 or 5 teams.
Plus, Maresca made the call to bring Tosin back into the starting lineup ahead of Chalobah, and what a big intervention that was in the final moments.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's been brave, also, changing the goalkeeper. I think Maresca is making the decisions that they need to be made, and I think despite everything, things are going in the right direction. I agree. You cannot play always perfect football, nice and tidy, and sometimes in games like this, especially when it's a tough moment, you need to get something out of that. I'm sure that they will get a lot of confidence from this.
Got to ask you about their equalising goal. In commentary, there was a feeling that you may have been fouled in the build-up. VAR took the view it was too far back. Yeah. I take it you may have a different view.
No, listen, obviously we trust the VAR and that's the technology is there for a reason. Obviously, it was a long way away, but at the time it was kind of I was trying to avoid Levi, and I think he was trying to run towards me. But we didn't get the decision, and we had to react better than what we did. It was the goal got given. We thought it might have been offside, but obviously nothing got given. So it was 1-1. Then it was down to us to stay in the game better than what we did. And in the end, we conceded a second goal, and we had obviously a deflection, but. They were probing, and this is what this team's about. They're really, the crowd are really good here when they get behind them, and it gave them a real lift. And I think we just had to do a little bit more after the first goal to stay in the game. But then, like I said, we had our chances at the end of the game where on another day Mo's shot doesn't get blocked or it takes a deflection like their goal and goes in. Like little things like that just went against us today. But I think we've got 12 days now until the next game. So it's time to rest, recover. Watch the game back, look what we've done well, look what we didn't do so well, and go to Brentford where we play at home, which is a real big game for us.
كلهم متشابهون. لاعب توتنهام يهين قائد سون. وأشار الاتحاد الإنجليزي لكرة القدم اتهاما للأورجواياني رودريغو بنتانكور لاعب توتنهام بسوء السلوك، وذلك بعدما أدلى بتصريح عن قائده بالفريق سون يونغ مين. ذكرت وكالة الأنباء البريطانية أنه خلال الصيف سئل اللاعب الأورجواياني الدولي في إحدى القنوات التلفزيونية الأورجوانية عن قميص أحد لاعبي توتنهام، وأجاب: سون قد يكون ابن عم سون أيضا لأنهم كلهم متشابهون. وذكرت جمعية كيك إيت أوت لمكافحة التمييز أنها تلقت عددا كبيرا من الشكاوي في عقب التصريح، واعتذر بنتاكور لقائد فريقه وكل جنوبي سون الذي قال عن زميله بالفريق أنه ارتكب خطأ. وذكر الاتحاد الإنجليزي في بيان أنه وجه اتهام إلى رودريغو بنتاكور بانتهاك مزعوم لقاعدة E3 بالاتحاد الإنجليزي بسبب سوء السلوك في أثناء مقابلة إعلامية. وأضاف: يزعم أن اللاعب خط وسط توتنهام انتهك المادة الأولى من القاعدة، إذ تصرف بطريقة غير لائقة أو استخدم عبارات عدائية أو مهينة أو أساء إلى سمعة اللعبة أو كل ما سبق. وأشار البيان إلى أن هذا يشكل انتهاكا شديدا لأنه يتضمن إشارة إلى الجنسية أو العرق أو الأصل العرقي أو كل ما سبق. وأكد البيان لدى بنتاكور مهلة حتى 19 أيلول للرد على هذه التهمة. ويعتبر المنتخب الياباني المرشح الآسيوي الأبرز للتأهل إلى كأس العالم بقيادة المدرب هاجيمي موريساو، إذ حقق المنتخب الساموراي فوزين ساحقين في أول جولتين في المجموعة الثالثة، حيث اكتسح الصين ب7 أهداف نظيفة قبل أن يعود بانتصار كاسح من البحرين ب5 أهداف دون رد. ويتميز الساموراي بقوته الدفاعية والهجومية، حيث لم يستقبل شباكه أي هدف منذ بداية التصفيات، بينما سجل 36 هدفا، كما أنه انتصر بجميع مبارياته 8 في مشوار التصفيات باحتساب مباريات الدوري الثاني.